high as that's gonna go. I can get it to go a bit higher. Or center column. Okay, yes, there we go. Oh, center column, less friction. Taking the center column. This one. Oh, Heather, you big fucking dodo bird. It's like super lame. Fix that. It's just gonna spread whenever it wants. What if I just get it so like, wonder what I could put right there. My stomach hurts. All right. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Jesus fucking Christ, it's freezing outside. I accidentally fucking slipped in the mud. Damn it. I slipped in the mud. Oh, fuck. Get back all the way back here. My stomach hurts again. Like, do you want to poop or not, body? Let me know. I'll go poop if you want me to. Just fucking tease me. Oh, my fucking stomach. Fuck. No me gusta. Maybe this box. Yeah, I think this box may work. Okay, so the projector's own box may actually work. I should, before I pull all this out, I should get my laptop and bring it over here and stuff. Actually, tablet. Oh, I can doodle something. Okay. Yeah. Just go and get this part done. Let me move you guys so I'm gonna actually put you now. So there we go. So then I'm gonna put box that came in. This is to stabilize the tripod on that. It's gonna work. I wish it was a little bit higher, to be quite honest. The other tripod gets a lot higher. So maybe let me swap out. The precariousness of this one. Okay, so let's look it up and see what happens. Don't make the this side of it. So convenient. Oh my god, I'm like not gonna be able to fart. It's gonna get tipped over. I think that's just leaning too far that way. It's just pulling too much. I'll find a new place to put this in because this isn't. Better. Okay, that's gonna be much better. We do have the leveler, so we can figure that out here in a second. Yay! It's working. Let's do this thing here to level that out. Pretty good. Doesn't have to be perfect. Remember how to do this. Why is it warped? Why is it warped? I don't have one of those freaking thingies right now. So why is it like this? I flashed that. Oh yeah, I changed the. That's better. Okay. Seriously? I'm just gonna get the want to be it. I'll put it right in the middle of this fucking drawer. It's right in the way. Okay, right in the middle. That's fine. All right, I'll just use the fucking middle. Okay, okay, fine. All right, please, let's just like stop arguing. Okay. Fucking kidding me, bro? Are you such a bitch? Okay, look, I'll just go to the other side. All right, fuck me. Oh, so now there's other things sticking out that are gonna prevent me from being able to go all the way back. So I have to go right there. Okay. This is close as I'm ever gonna get it to the side I want it to be on. Didn't really want to do this in the middle of the fucking road, but I have no choice. My marker in the most precarious location. Come on, dude. I literally, there's no way I left it at her house. Oh, God. So my Apple Pencil and my marker are both missing. Great. Fabulous. Amazing. Give me 13 of them. I like just got these markers so that I could do this. I really need the marker. It's gone. And funny enough, my Apple Pencil is gone too. That's making me very, very, very uncomfortable because that's not supposed to be missing. Where's my okay, there's my marker, but where's my Apple Pencil? I don't like that one bit. How tight that is. What did I just do with it? Oh, I put it on there already. Good job. All right, now we got to grease the machine. What is it here? My tablet. How come I'm about to start doing something and everybody's coming out of the woodwork? How about, huh? That's what I want to know. It's okay, Orly. She's just saying hello. She's saying hi. It's okay. It's okay. She's not trying to beat you up this time. How come you're so good at this? Whenever I'm starting to do something important, you always come out of the woodwork. Every single time. Wish I could listen to music, but I can't. I don't want to listen to Joe Rogan. I don't want to listen to Tucker Carlson. I'm also something maybe historical. Okay, I hear you. This is all I get. 3 episodes or something.
The sun's just risen on the spring equinox, and I'm here in Northumberland, in the northeast of England. I can see the sheep in the field. I can feel the sunlight of the first sun, spring on the
He's like
field.
that.
I hear the birds calling, and I'm stood here somewhere very special. This is the pagan Roman temple of Mithras, a mysterious god with a murky history that belonged to a secret Roman religion. But before we delve into Mithras, let's take a little step back. I'm here in the remnants of Carnival Roman ruins along this wild frontier of Britain. Here, a wall of stone once marked the entire edge of the empire.
Okay, I need to think a little bit, so maybe I should wait. so excited. We are doing what you think we're doing right now, yes. Oh, thank God. I was like, as long as I got the oil. I'm waiting all day for this to show up. So. I need to get like a little something or another. This I can put away after I use it. But I can do that after I use this. Somewhere where I can access it. Oh, come on, man. Literally, he's coming to me broken. Oh, not for me. It might still work, which is a little worse. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Just raw dogging it. It doesn't feel like it sounds right to me. And I don't know if we're supposed to see the spark from the electronics working. So that's interesting. As long as I get that on camera, so I can show the people that it is sparking in there. I'm not sure about that. So something sounds awfully tight. Is this a joke? It literally don't work. It worked for 2 seconds. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me right now? It is turned on. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Something's too tight. Yeah, you're right. Something's wrong here. Why? Why art thou doing this? Okay, so they don't have any like detailed instructions on how to like deal with this shit. Let me real quick see if I can find the oiling video.
I went with this spout, so it gives better kind of access to it. So the first thing we did is we put the oil front and behind. This is really good to lubricate the rails of the bed. That eliminates friction on.
See how his machine sounds so different.
The ones that lubricate are our bearing joint. Here, here. And underneath right there. Next, what I like to do is walk the bearing joint backward forward to revert to the oil again. Sorry, this is oily. It's right there. Like to like the oil like this. Next, we talk about oil is the scissor closing block, which is this little triangle right there. Putting a drop of big guilty on it. And then the scissor opening block, which is right here, is where the triangle on the scissors meets. This is the opening block. And then the final place where I put the big is just got the little joint on the scissors where they
Probably it needs to be lubricated here, and that's what's holding us up right now. Hopefully it'll just minorly solve the engine. But either way, I don't think it's supposed to be like sparking visibly. Like that's nerve-wracking.
just cycle. Next, what I like to do is walk the bearing joint backward here. But now, the ones that lubricate are Very
top one.
here. Here.
Yep.
And maybe right here.
Yep. Okay. And then rock on my side up front.
And the next and final place I like to lubricate, they've got the little joint on the scissors where they here the little bolt joint. Scissors. Just want to drop the lubrication right on that joint. Help us. The scissors running. You're good to go.
Okay, hopefully this is going to no. Okay. Hold on. Welcome. Come on, dog. Right. Where's my little towel at that I had for this? We're back in business. I don't do well with machines, to be quite frank. So anything that requires a machine, it's going to take me, there's going to be a learning curve for me. So I have to be patient with myself. And that's why I turned off the sound. So I could focus on trying to do the things I need to do properly without interruption from some YouTube video. Boy, I'm sure glad I waited for this oil to come here. And I didn't just like start trying to use the machine. I'm glad I thought that myself, like, oh, you know what, dude? I bet you they didn't oil it before they sent it to you. You should probably freaking oil this machine before you use it, Heather. Glad I bought oil. Glad I thought of this. Glad someone in my chat knows what they're talking about. Okay. Nice and pointy now. This one. I do feel like they installed this a little on the tight side. This one down here. Now I need to remember how to load this thing. Okay. You can just hold that for 2 seconds. Oh, here's the fucking video. It's under a different thing. Tufting love. Okay.
Alright, so this is the cut file version, which means essentially it has little scissors here that cut the yarn, which you cut it through. And the way that you thread this is really simple. You know, it's a paper clip that's been bent so that it can fit through the eye of the needle here. So in this gun, it just fits in through like this. I actually take my yarn here and I feed it through this first. And then I actually just hook it on here and pull it through. So it's through.
Popped out. Okay. Looking for nothing. I'm a Scotland. Figure out what speed we're going here in a second. Turn it on. Oh my goodness. It's like I've been doing it my entire life. Fucking knew it. Knew it. I knew that this was going to be relatively easy for me. So, as long as I can keep doing that, we'll be good. Let's just see what we can do. I love that. Feel. I want to test it a little bit more. And I'm going to want to watch some more videos of other people doing this so that I can really pay attention now to I feel like I might be going too slow. Okay. So let's try a little faster. No, I'm getting a little bit the bunching thing. And that's okay, but it's because I'm pausing there. Also, it's not very evenly stretched. I do kind of have it wavy. It's my first ever stretch. So I'll give myself a little bit of a brace on that one. I'm gonna slow the speed down and see if that makes a difference. Oh, that made a huge difference. That's much better. Much better. That is the most beautiful one so far. I'm glad I turned around and stopped. Okay. Let's try that. I can feel it when it does that. The boom. Oh, I'm not pushing hard enough. Okay. 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 Can you see? Okay, you can see. Okay, we're really getting there. Getting somewhere. Right here, here, here. So when I'm making that curved part, I'm doing something. I think that my baby daddy over here needs to stretch. So a couple of days to like relax. Oops, I'm overlapping. That's good. Not very good on the pattern, but it does look a lot better on the. That was what the issue was. Okay. You. Oh, don't let it bounce out. I'm letting it bounce out. I can see the needle like coming out of the, and I think it's because I do in fact have a small pile machine. I should have gotten the medium pile, but I didn't. Small pile. I mean, I could change it over. I've got between 8 and 15. It's on the highest setting, I think, right now. I think it's on 16 millimeters, so it's on the tallest. So, that's before we're getting better. Oh well. What's going on here? You butthole. Why are you gonna bounce out like that? I want to look up like a way to do circles that are like that make the most sense. So I think I'm just gonna go without just winging it like too much. Yeah, my canvas is loose. It's too soft, but I wasn't able in this at this time to get it any tighter. So we're just gonna have to make it work and push extra hard, and it'll be fine. It's not bad. Not bad for a beginner. Not bad for a beginner. Okay, kind of close. Yes, yes, yes. Bro, I'm fucking killing it, you guys. Holy sh. I have to show you how like incredibly clean these lines are. Like, see, I just fucking knew it. I knew I would be so good at this. I knew just by looking at it that I would be really good at it and that I should do it. Look at this. Look at this beautifully even, clean fucking line action, brat. And here I'll show you what it looks like on the other side. So as you can see, it's like literally rugging right up. Look at that. So look at how good the lines in the middle look. It's like nice and straight. Fucking killing it, dude. Oh, I'm so excited. No, I'm not a druid myself, but I'm pretty sure I come from a long line of people who do that kind of stuff or did that kind of stuff. I'm Norwegian, Scandinavian with some Irish, English, German from my mom's side. My mom's Irish, English, German. My dad's Norwegian, so Scandinavian. Great. Love it when this is happening.
But before we delve into the discuss, let's take a little step back. And here is the remnants of Caribou ruins along this wild north frontier of Britain. Here, a wall of stone once marked the entire edge of the empire. This was Hadrian's wall, defensive line reaching across the whole country, 73 miles across. Thousands of soldiers lived along here. There were 16 forts across the wall, so the wall. Carabao was known for the Romans as broccolitia, which, despite sounding suspiciously like a vegetable, has absolutely nothing to do with broccoli. It likely comes from an older Celtic phrase meaning something to do with badger hunts. The Romans built their defensive forts here. From this point on, you could see everything unfolding. Was France. Who read the street?
I ran out of time.
The Roman slightly has roots in many Eastern traditions. In ancient Rome was a deity, Mithra, associated with women's justice.
What did I do with that green yarn?
Invaded India, there was the
Well, shit.
phrase in Greek Bay said to ancient Hellenists. One of the earliest mentions of the
Heather.
it was found in the tomb distilled in royal offerings. It's now been by King.
Yay.
The Roman version of Mithras is something very different. There's no mention of Mithras in the second century.
I don't know if I'm gonna have enough to make that circle though.
Hundreds of descriptions. It's difficult to discover exactly why this would be else. There are such strong differences between
I can't wait till I have a studio space.
Trust the archaeologists have discovered these are produced around 1,000 inscriptions of significant the city of Rome, scholars estimate as an extraordinary
Yay, I found my Apple Pencil! Yay!
characterized the images of slavery
God damn it, Heather.
in the images is depicted in the progressive film, which roughly means what was the symbol of function. There was no known physical evidence by any of the group, but actually performance of there is clearly symbolic. Opinions divided between this ceremony was pre-Zoom. There was an Indian text which reflects European values, which was the culture, often appears as the glory of any faith. The temple seems to have project through and deliberately small cut or set in the ground. The intention was to invoke the cave where the bull was slain, to feel like stepping into the cosmic cave where Mithras performed his greatest act. The entrance here led into a small lobby. Here, archaeologists discovered evidence of a hearth, suggesting that fires had been near the doorway. A statue of a mother goddess was stood here as well. From this space, wooden screens separate the outer area from the sacred chamber. Two earthen benches ran along each side, and between them was a narrow central passage. Rituals here were communal. Initiates would sit along these benches, facing one another across the aisle, sharing ritual meals and taking part in ceremonies. There's evidence that worship was rose in rank, progressing through 7 grades of initiation within the cult. So as you walk through, you can really get a feel for what this must have been like. It's hard to imagine it now when it's such a beautiful day and the sun is in the sky. Try and think of this dark and cramped. The passageway leads along to these tanic stones right at the back. These stones are actually replicas of the real ones. Don't worry, we're also going to go and see the real stones today as well. This is
Are you flipping, flapping serious, bro?
where they were in the cave when they were first found. There was also a grave mural on the wall here, which we're also going to go and see. And when I come to these sites, I'm always struck by the fact that people still honor them. So here, brings have been met in the form of pines and spring daffodils. Very recent. Sign that people are still coming to these places, still interested in the history. and still want to show a sign of respect. So, glass candle over. Fire is very important to individuals. So it's interesting to still see that. So I wasn't planning to, but I realised that it's only 5 minutes down the road. So I'm currently walking up to Housestead's Roman Fort, which is apparently a really incredible and massive fort, and I have never ever been. So I'm walking up to it right now. I can see it in the distance. I'm excited to see what it looks like because there was a really amazing artifact found here, and that is a sculpture of Mithras being born from cosmic egg. And usually he's not depicted as being born from an egg. So it's very unique and unusual. And we are actually going to go and see that exact block as well in the museum. But first, I thought, let's go and have a look at the place it actually came from. We'll move a hill down. So yeah, let's go and check out, see what it's like. So through the stone sculpture, artifacts, more courses, organ props, positive things, and then we really typical right on. The god of the mouth. The god is big.
A little bit of a gap. Hopefully you can't see that on the other side. Oh. My bad.
So I'm just outside the Great North Museum, known to me really as the Hancock Museum. Been coming here for genuinely like 25 years. It's totally free to visit, and it's such a nice thing to have as part of the city. So we're going to go in here right now and explore and see if we can find stories and have a look at them in a little bit more detail. Okay, so here we are at the Hancock.
Of course, I'm trying not to run out of string.
Very, very influential in that Heights region. So you can explore. Here we are at the Mithras section. And there is a whole section because there are so many stones dedicated to this god. So all three of these stones here were it's dedicated. This one here, when it was found, still had a very loose called red and green paint. So we can't really be sure, but imagine that these might be painted and look very, very vibrant. Very different how we can imagine history as being so brown and grey and kind of lacking in colour. And this is just absolutely incredible. This is the cosmic egg that was found at Halstead's Roman Fort in the Mithraeum. So this is a depiction of Mithras being born from an egg, which is really, really unusual and really unique. It also features the signs of the zodiac all the way around it. And these are the first known depictions of the zodiac signs in Britain. So it's a very, very special piece. This one is absolutely huge. This is from Halstead's as well. And it's a relief showing the Tauroctony, so the killing of the bull as the backdrop. So here you can see the arched top, which is the cave when Mithras killed the bull. The snake, the dog, and the scorpion all leap up, packed with blood, and Mithras is accompanied by twin torch bearers. Vocal centerpiece. I don't know if this helps at all. It's massive. It would have taken up like an entire wall, and this is the What's up? Seems freaking statue, the mother goddess.
What in the fuck is wrong with you today?
It's quite interesting that they
Huh?
was featured in
Why do you keep doing that?
Subliminal Locks.
That's already the small freaking ball. You're fucking the big ball. You're not supposed to do this. The small ball's already running out too fast. God. You're gonna have to do the outside. Oh, I better do this area right here pretty quick because I don't run out of green yarn. Man, I can't stand the threader thing they gave me. It's bent. It's like really like to figure out how to do this without them. Can't go right now. It's big box. They're like literally twisted at the very top, so they're doing this like stupid extra loop. So they're hard to get off. You're breaking them.
It's mostly amazing. Gold shadows of torchlight.
An enigma wraps in hyperbole.
And yet, places like this, it feels almost renewed. And empire that once
We're just gonna do it again.
is gone. The soul goes to long since locked within
Why do you hate me so much?
silence. Temple conjures.
Okay, I know what to do. This needs to go that way. It needs to go under that more. That's what needs to happen. Turn it off. What's it now? Grab some.
This will leave you buzzing. I am Canada, creator of worlds, the biological engineer of a multi-year operation in my giant ant-room lab, located in my home, where I'm building an expansive network of ecosystem vivariums. Exhibit A, Pantora, my 1,000-gallon cloud rainforest floor vivarium, which is connected by way of a cave tunnel to Exhibit B, Hot Drop, a tropical wetlands vivarium, and to
There
a
you go.
little bridge of wooden vines. Ascending up to Exhibit C, or Q, a treetop.
See you guys later, Justin. Geo, dude.
And through an opening at the back, leading to
Really
a
excited.
bridge to Exhibit D, Verdantia, a gargantuan 2,000-gallon tropical grasslands vivarium.
I don't think people understand what live streams really are meant to be. Live streams are supposed to be where you're watching someone just like do their thing, you know?
Plants and animals.
Y'all are spoiled by the content creators who talk to you all the time.
Work wide. And we're about to learn a whole lot
YouTube's not like that.
with the introduction of a brand new species that I knew. It completely changed the game in our ecosystem. The resident creatures of Pangea had no idea their world was about to enter a whole new era. Pangea, I present to you a new age in your evolution. Species. They're ringed overlords.
Only one dread there, but whatever.
Packed animals. Bees, welcome to Pangea. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon.
I'm gonna do the berries in case I gotta do it red too. I want to make sure I'm
I didn't
making it then.
the entire bee nest is filled in nothing. To the top floor, the insertion of the bee nest needed to be planned carefully, as one wrong move could lead to a disastrous situation.
Doing it again.
A bunch of angry bees loose in my home.
Glad I fucking
Now, the
caught it this
species of
time.
these bees, Tetragonura varroa, a native species of stingless bee. Yes,
Something like that.
they're bees that lack a stinger, but don't get it twisted. They still attack when provoked. They bite and go for vulnerable areas. Eyes, nose, ears,
You're
armpits.
gonna snag on anything you can now.
I keep pet fire ants. Surely I could handle stingless bees, right? Well, it turns out these bees were not at all like fire ants. They're not even quite like honeybees. And despite all my intricate planning and preparations, I would soon discover that these bees were like no other creature I've kept before. And I was up for the craziest adventure in the history of Pangea's ecosystem. Ahead. Mixing the entire bag into the glass box, which would become their new beehive. We were ready. Release the bees and the nest. Here goes nothing. In the dark, Mac worked as quickly as he could. From the box, I could hear the bees buzzing around, and some came buzzing around my head. Despite standing a good 6 feet away, my protective headgear was effective, but some managed to crawl up my pants, biting me in the places the sun don't shine. It felt like little.
Hate having to use this thing.
Once the bag was removed, Max shut the door to the chamber, trapping the bees inside. But that was just the first step. I was shocked to see how many bees were on the floor, something Mac cautioned would happen. So we took a soft broom and swept them all up to place them into the chamber to rejoin the colony. These bees are activated by light and are the most sleepy and inactive in the dark, hence us introducing the bees at night. When they were all in, we could finally relax. This was all extremely exciting, because pollinators play a major role in ecosystems, and I always felt that they were a critical missing link in Pangea's ecosystem. So finally introducing these bees to our system was a total dream. I was also excited because this setup is quite unorthodox for housing them, with a connection to the outside to access outdoor flowers, as well as an indoor component, with flowering plants in every vivarium. In theory, the setup was definitely bee-tailored, but whether it worked in practice was a different story. Truth is, I didn't know if the bees would even like this glass bee box, if they would decide to move out of it, or worst case scenario, end up dying. Didn't know if the bees would actually travel through the glass bridges and visit our flowers in each vivarium. But I had done the research, laid the groundwork, and planned this experiment out to the T. In the name of science, it's the best possible chance of success. Of her own, imperfect and tameless, Pangean fashion. After giving the bees an hour to settle down, I looked into the bee box to examine who posted for the first time. The bees were restless. Suddenly, a piece of the hive had broken off during the transport. A bee-made material called propolis, which the bees were not happy about. To them, this was suddenly back up. This was the damaged portion of the hive, where the piece of propolis broke off. It was a breach in the nest. The bees were I wouldn't be able to repair it soon. But this hole in the nest was about to be the least of my worries.
Get it? B.
In fact, a few of them were showing up. It was then that I realized that a surprise greeting party had arrived on the scene to welcome the new winged guests. The Dark Horde, our resident including the bees themselves. At first, I watched the black crazians inspect the area. There were so many disoriented bees. It was ants versus bees. The black crazy ants had released a pheromone to inform all ants for the colony to devour. I felt helpless watching the stray bees being attacked by the black crazy ants. I couldn't open the door.
Wait a minute. Off center. Stop doing that! Oh, anything it can get snagged on, it will. That's the bag, I'm sure.
The bees did their best to rejoin the colony as the Dark Horde wafted toxic fumes of formic acid into the air, which weakened the bees even more. I watched
Good job, dumbass.
as the ants carried away a weakened bee. Why wasn't their colony helping them? Up at the nest, The main colony seemed untriggered by what was happening at ground level. At this been ants, the entire colony would have mobilized to confront the intrusive enemies. Thankfully, I didn't see any black crazy ants actually on the nest, trying to infiltrate the hive. In fact, the ants didn't seem to want to approach this separate swarm of bees on the propolis either. There was a reason for this, and I would find out later why. But right now, it did seem like the Dark Horde was only interested in the isolated and weakened bees. I could do nothing but watch as the Dark Horde picked off these weakened bees and dragged them away from their hive. Overall, I knew it was just a small portion of the bee colony that we were losing to the Dark Horde. Mainly the weakened stragglers. But this battle was still quite sad to watch play out, especially because them abducting these bees was one nutritional point up for these invasive ends, which was only going to make them stronger. The main bee colony at the nest seemed okay for now, so I took a deep breath and resolved to head to bed with the hope that the colony would be alright in the morning.
Be alright. I feel like I am not gonna make it to the end.
Without a single miss,
You did it again! Same spot! It literally can't stop grabbing it there. That's frustrating.
the morning sun was shining onto the nest. Surely the bees were awake and active for me. Looking around the boats,
It's doing it again.
see the Dark Horde
It
still
fucking did it
busy
again.
collecting the weakened and isolated
It
bees.
keeps grabbing this motherfucker
These bees up
here.
to the bridge to take them back to their nest. But as for the bees themselves, looking at the
Oh,
end,
that's
more
frustrating.
bees were seen leaving. To my surprise, but looking around the bee box,
Love doing this
shocked
monotonous
to see
bullshit over again.
half of bees were all stammering against the glass. It looked like they were trying to follow the sunlight as they piled en masse into the corner, held back by the invisible force that was the glass. I knew this would be a problem, as these bees would eventually die from exhaustion if left to keep doing this, so I had to act fast. I placed a black paw
So we're not gonna like let it snag this time, Heather.
block out the bright sunlight streaming into the bee box. I needed to show them where to exit. When I was done, at first, nothing happened, with the bees still crawling around the corners. But after a few moments of recalibrating and finding their bearings, soon enough, the bees understood the assignment, and to my delight, began to exit through the hole.
He's really good at making fucking
Sights I'd
ant
never seen.
theatrical
A
stuff.
swarm of bees leaving
It's
our
annoying.
entering the
This needs
outside
to be over here somewhere.
as pollinators.
Something needs to be like out here. Or like, Heather, you fucking genius! Oh, okay.
Yes, man, I can't believe it. Was such a thrill. And look at what else I got. They were already inspecting and visiting the monkey pod tree flowers just outside the hole. I knew they'd love it. Probably having a blast right now, exploring all the flowers of the plant life around their new territory. There was a massive mango tree just 100 meters away, which I was certain they were checking out. My farmyard
Come on,
with a
just literally
meter range.
just like
Settlers galore in my
2 more little bits here.
meters. Entire jungle around my home, full of native flowers.
Damn.
See, family, what should we name our new bee colony? Let me know in the comments.
Okay,
And I'll choose.
but
my
I got
favorite.
it.
It was also cool to actually get to see the nest. Really, man.
All right.
Nest is a piece of rotting jackfruit tree that the bees
So I want to do.
customized into this ball of propolis and debris.
What do I do with my marker? No, of course I didn't put it away. Why would I do that? That would be like a smart thing.
Entire paintballs, like a cavity within a tree.
What do you do with the marker? I should probably turn the heat on. It's like 35 degrees outside.
Now for the ultimate test. Were the bees visiting our flowers in the Bavaria? I checked
What
them.
am I gonna do with my marker? I'm not quite sure why it's not here. Why wouldn't it's right here? There it is. It's right there. What the hell? I looked in there.
I don't see any bees yet. The Verdantian winds had come on, so I was hoping the smell of all our flowers was making me to the nest and beckoning to the field. Guess not. There were no bees in the log bridge either. Checking out Arcadia, I also saw no bees visiting the newly planted orchids. Perhaps the bees just needed more time to discover our flowers. But what I did discover, just below the orchids, was a rather peculiar sight. The blue ants, members of the Sapphire Royals, were feasting on a small rotting mango. I loved watching our beloved blue ants feeding. Since joining our forest, I've come to learn that these blue ants love fruit, and I've never really known them to eat anything else. It is quite therapeutic to watch the ants going to town on the mango, and the ants themselves are just stunning to look at, with their spiked armor of the shiniest cobalt blue. What I found peculiar
Broken every lid I
was
own.
Dark Horde's reaction to it. How strange. So I had ordered a huge basket of these native baby mangoes, and it was all more than I could finish before they spoiled. So instead of throwing away the rotten ones, I placed them in Arcadia for the ants. And as you can see, the blue ants love them, but the black crazy ants, who usually devour any sweets available to them, simply paced cautiously around the mango, not willing to feed. I mean, you guys know the Dark Horde. Don't you find this strange? Even when the blue ants had had their fill and left, our native acrobat ants, the chromatoblasters, came along to have their turn at the mango. There were several pieces of these baby mangoes scattered all around the canopy, and were a total hit with our native ants, but strangely not with the Dark Horde. I couldn't quite put a finger on what it was about these mangoes that the Dark Horde didn't like. Any guesses, guys? But hey, if this was the case, I should probably offer more of these native baby mangoes to give our native ants a nutritional upper hand over these black crazy ants. It was all a mystery indeed. The surprising answer of which would be revealed to me soon. I went down to Pandora to check for these. No! The Dark Horde had discovered the new ground orchids I placed inside and were collecting something sweet provided by the orchid buds. These ground orchids were supposed to be for the bees, so it was a bit disappointing to see that the Dark Horde was hoarding them to themselves like this, with not a single bee in sight. Another nutritional point for the Dark Horde. A quick check to Hydromeda, and as expected, no bees here either. Throughout the day, I continued to check on the bees and all the flowers, but still no visits. The bees still weren't even entering the bridge above them. In the late afternoon, it was clear that bee activity was slowing down. With sunset on the horizon, the bees that had been working hard all day, flying back and forth between the nest and all the flowers of the outside world, were now winding down to retire for the night. Still, no interest in our flowers, nor in exploring our vivarium. By sunset, the outdoor bee activity was now coming to a close as the bees began to retire for the night. The monkey paw tree leaves were also drooping in preparation for their evening slumber. Still, no bees in the vivarium, even with a fake sun to lure them in. When night finally arrived, the bees had all returned home. Most of the work happening now was the repairing of the hole from the night before, as black crazy ants continued to scour the floor of the bee box for dead and weakened bees to take home. I guess I was a bit disappointed that the bees hadn't discovered our indoor flowers yet, as I felt for sure they'd at least wandered into the vivarium to check them out. As cool as it was to have these bees attached to Pangea, their current role in Pangea's ecosystem was merely being food for invasive ants and not being pollinators in Pangea, like I hoped they would be. I needed some help, and the next day, that's exactly what I got. Mac had come over bright and early to begin the major operation. AC family, you guys will love this. He took one of the bee boxes from my yard and began to pry open the box. So, in all the years that I've been keeping stingless bees, not once have I ever opened them to harvest the honey. I've only used the bees for pollination of my fruits and veggies, but Mac had offered to show me how it's done in the stingless beekeeping world, and I knew we were in for quite the treat. Literally. He pried open the bee box with his hive tool. Whoa! How awesome! The swarm of bees were in full attack mode, but Mac was well protected and well experienced. As for me, they were biting me everywhere as I watched from afar. Mac had to act quickly as he began to crush the honeypot cells with his hive tool. Now check out these nest structures. These yellowish cells here are the pollen cells, full of collected flower pollen, which is a nutrient-rich food source for the bees. Highly useful when flower season ends in a few more months. These comb-like structures are the brood cells, each containing a developing bee, so either an egg, a larva, or a pupa. This larger light-colored cell is a queen cell, in which a future queen bee is developing. This here is propolis, a resinous substance collected by the bees from plants, mixed with beeswax and enzymes, to form a general use building material and sealant. And finally, these are the honeypots, cells containing honey. And it's these cells that Mac was crushing to extract the honey. I was totally amazed by the process. Check out all that honey. Now, after doing a bit of nest maintenance, next up was to split the hive. This was a necessary process in order to keep the bees from moving out of the bee box. You see, once the bees feel they're running out of space in whatever cavity they're nested in, they begin to start building a newer, larger nest somewhere else, into which they would eventually move. So, to avoid this, we need to split this colony, which involves breaking off a chunk of the inner nest. As you can see Mac doing here, which includes brood cells and honeypot cells, and place that piece into a brand new empty bee box, making sure the cells are placed in the same orientation as they were in the original hive. To help establish this new bee box as an official nest, we cut off the entrance too, which is laced with home signal pheromones, and stuck it to the entrance of the new bee box. And just like that, we now have two separate bee colonies from one. Now they could be placed close to each other, like we're doing here, or in separate locations far from each other. The magic of all this is one of the two hives will contain the original egg-laying queen, but the hive without a queen will soon have a new virgin queen emerge from one of the queen cells, and she will mate with a drone during the next nuptial flight, usually right at the start of the rainy season. Isn't that crazy cool? How I wish ant colonies were this easy to propagate. Now, as for the honey, from here it's strained from the debris, dead bees, and propolis, and placed into bottles. But here's what's truly unique about stingless bees that sets them apart from regular honeybees. So I've become obsessed with fermenting due to the health benefits for the human gut microbiome, and as such have begun making my own kombucha, tepache, sauerkraut, and more. And so when I found out about the unique features of stingless bee honey, I was ecstatic. Turns out, stingless bee honey is healthier than regular bee honey, not only because it has higher concentrations of antioxidants, has stronger antimicrobial properties, and has a lower glycemic index than regular honey, but get this, it's also fermented, containing a ton of probiotics, which regular honey doesn't have. In fact, I have to let this honey sit for a few days without a lid to allow it to fart, as the naturally occurring microbes and yeasts produce gas and lactic acid, giving the honey a very unique tang, a deep tart flavor that I liken to tamarind.
A deep fart
Also
flavor.
worth noting, both their propolis and the pollen are also fermented and packed with probiotics. Isn't that incredible? I get it, bees. While for some fermented foods may be an acquired taste, it was pretty amazing to know that the bees produce nutrient-rich, fermented superfood. According to Mac, if we choose not to eat all this propolis strained from the honey, we could also place it on top of the hive for the bees to eat and carry back to the nest to recycle and read.
That sounds like water dripping. Well, that's pretty lame. That sucks. My front door is leaking. It's not a tattoo gun. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm just gonna find something because I suck at drawing and I forgot. So I'm gonna find. Should open this on my laptop because I have Vector on my laptop. I know, I have to pull out the projector, that's the problem. So, if I could just figure out. Too thick. Mm. The frig. Oh, it's like the ink is stuck with me. That's not very good. Actually, it's not very good. Well, I can be pleased. It'd be cool if you just stop doing that. Thanks. So I can put back in. No, that's not what I meant to press. Do. No. It's not centered. All right. So now. I'm looking. That's amazing.
stuff.
Stop doing it. It's acting like the pencil's not worth like touching, like it has no ink. Stop. It's not. It's cute. It's not. Can you guys even see what I'm doing? Sorry. So this is what it looks like without the stuff under it. I don't know. So I made these drawings a long time ago. As you can see, it's super far away. I drew these of my friends, so I was thinking how cool would it be to make those kind of art into rugs. I'll make like rugs that look like this. How fucking cool would that be? I don't know about you, but I'd buy a rug that looked like that one, you know? If you send a photo to me, I could convert it like this and then make it into a rug. Did this one of myself. It's really just glorified tracing, to be quite honest. I'm not like drawing it myself. I'm tracing over my own photograph. But it's cool. It comes out very nice. And then I did this one of Elliot a couple of years ago. And I adapted it and put like rainbows in there. But yeah, so oh, here's one I was doing of myself. I started to make this one, but I quit. That would be cool to make something like this into a rug. Which photograph am I using? Oh yeah, this photograph. So see how I do it? I just take the photograph and overlay it and draw on top. So that's not what I meant to do, bro. Everything's dying all at once, of course. What are you doing? What do you think you're doing?
She is one of the most notorious defendants in recent memory. Why would Letitia Scott, of all people, get a new trial? But that is exactly why she's in the news tonight. Letitia Stout was accused and convicted
All right, let me show you what I've done so far. This is the
murder her 11-year-old stepson, stuffed his body into a suitcase and
so
to Florida, where she left the suitcase under a bridge
that
and just returned.
perfect. I really did a good job. I'm proud of myself.
But today, the Colorado Court of Appeals has
Yep.
issued a ruling
See that one
that she
spot
will get a
where
new trial.
it was really thin?
Let's get started. This is one
Look
of
at
the
that.
rulings that, at first glance, feels
It's a
almost
freaking rug, dude.
a trial, right? A jury found her guilty. A trial court sentenced her.
That's crazy.
Why would we start all over again? And believe it or not,
That's crazy.
it all comes down to
All right, I
one
gotta clean up
single
and
cover three
get ready to go to bed because I have to be up early in the morning to go.
And then finally, what does it mean? Okay, so let's dive in. On January 27th, 2020, Letitia Stout reported that her stepson Gannon was missing.
Watch out, mommy.
Claimed he left home to walk to a friend's house and just leave from home. Now, the wheels of law enforcement in the most, the FBI got involved. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children showed up. Both the Colorado Springs
Nope, no, ma'am, no, ma'am.
The Sheriff's Department worked to find Gannon. And it took a little over a month for law enforcement to slice through the misinformation. And on March 2nd of 2020, Letitia Stout was arrested. She was charged with first-degree murder of a child by a person in a position of trust, child abuse resulting in death, tampering with a deceased human body, and tampering with physical evidence. Now, the details in the arrest affidavit were sickening. Letitia Stout, it said, was so committed to making sure that Gannon died that she stabbed him 18 times, hit him in the head with something, and then shot him on top of all that. Gannon was 11 years old when he died. Letitia stuck his body in a suitcase, drove around with her, authorities say, and then at some point, apparently rented a van and took Gannon's way to Florida to dump them. A maintenance worker was horrified to find them under its BFA grant. Now, Letitia claims she was not guilty by reason of insanity.
Listening to that trial fucking fucked me up a little bit, to be quite honest.
The judge told her her actions were the most horrific I've ever seen and sentenced her to life plus 156 years. Now, so far, I'm probably not making you feel like this is someone you want to see retried, but that is not the question that was before the Colorado police. The question was not whether she was guilty, whether she deserved a new trial. It was whether the trial she got was fair under the Constitution and under Colorado law. And the court said it was not. Why? Let's begin with the actual rule. It's strong. The Colorado Court of Appeals typically has some options. It could modify whatever the sentence is. It could change the sentence or it could send the case back for a hearing with the issue. That's not what happened. What happened here is that the Court of Appeals reversed the conviction of Letitia Stout. The case will now be remanded for a brand new trial.
I can't believe that. That's awful, dude. That poor family.
The fact that there is a new trial tells you that the Court of Appeals
Family, dude.
was a very fundamental issue that went to the core of the trial. It was what's called a structural error. That means that once the court finds that error occurred,
Watch out, mama.
it is an automatic reversal. Ask the question, did it really make a difference? Did it affect the outcome? If it happened, they reverse, the person gets a new trial. So why did this happen? What was that structural error? Well, as I said, it all came down to one juror. It's important to realize what that means. This is not about whether Letitia was innocent or did not say. There was a lack of evidence that there was no rational ground for the jury to find her guilty. Instead, the question was whether this one juror was qualified to serve on the jury. The court said no, and an emphatic no. The court should never have let this juror sit on the jury in the first place. Here's what happened. During jury selection, the lawyers get to answer those questions to make sure they can serve on the jury and be fair. So during the selection process, as the jurors were answering questions, one potential juror said that his son-in-law worked in the same district attorney's office that was prosecuting the case. So in other words, he was related
Okay.
by his daughter's marriage to someone who worked in the office that was prosecuting the case. Now, to make it easier for courts to make this decision, the Colorado legislature has enacted a law that says if a juror is related, quote, within the third degree to either the defendant, that would be Letitia, or any attorney of record in the case, then that juror is out. So the language actually says that any, quote, relationship within the third degree by blood, adoption, or marriage,
Right.
close quote, is covered. And the juror was related to an attorney in the office within the third degree by marriage. So the lawyers don't have to prove. Or is bias.
Anyways, so here's what we have so far. This is my test to see if I could do it. This is me just winging it. I think I'm probably gonna have to go back and add more here because there's only one string instead of two strings. So instead of it being like juke, 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 it's like juke, juke, juke. So I'm gonna have to go back and add, because on the other side you'll be able to see the gap. I'm excited to see what it looks like on the other side, so I can figure out if this is too much of a gap for what I'm doing right now, or if, like, obviously I think this is going to be too much of a gap. I think this right here,
This category.
I think it should feel tight on my pinky nail, and that's the perfect one. This is too close. I think this one right here, this area right here, this is perfect. This one's just a little bit too much. But this is the first thing I've ever done. So it's the first time I've ever turned on one of those machines ever or anything like that. So it's pretty cool. It feels neat. And on the other side, it totally feels like a fucking rug. Like, it's perfect. I'm so excited. So tomorrow we'll do some like circle-y things. I'll pull the projector out Saturday or something. We'll see. Okay.